whenever we find a trade, we want reasons for being in that trade, right? We want a load up. We want a whole bunch of reasons for being in that trade. The first thing shared was the Valvize right here. Closes 75% inside on monthly. So here's the chart. Here, I wanted more data. So I want to go 3 years to really show me data because I want to be confident. I want to really believe that now is a great time to get in. Over 3 years, it closes in 75%. Closes in its expected move 75% of the time. For those who don't know, this is our Valvize tool. What I did here is I took the same thing and I'm just looking at it on a different time frame, just 1 year back, same thing, close in 75%. So right here, it sure seems like it's probably a good candidate to learn more, right? Right up against its implied move. That by itself is not a trade idea, but that by itself is very, very interesting and something to dig further. So love this, nice and clean. I love the velocity that it starts out and just goes right to that expected move. Another thing that we shared was the 200-day moving average. This 200-day moving average, we're accomplishing the exact same thing with the high value target tool. So I don't think that you need to do that as well, but nothing wrong with it. Just wanted to throw that out there. It's the same thing. And that's just showing, George is showing how far away from the 200. Well, this is, I mean, whenever we see this, and again, I wanted to go back and show data because when I'm trying to show you guys, hey, this is a really, really unique opportunity. I want to see other times like here where it breaks out, but it keeps on going and never comes back. I want to see how respectful this name is. Overall, coinciding with the Valvize makes it stronger. So this is interesting too, right? Both of these, Valvize right to its monthly range, outside 3 and 4 standard deviation band. So it's obviously just really, really, really freaking strong, really strong. The next thing that George shared, which is right in the process of how we're finding trades, is to look at comparatives, look at correlations. And to do that, everybody in your members area, you have an awesome correlation tool. That correlation tool in your members area, well, you know, it will show you which companies are like most closely correlated, which ones, when they go up, are the others all going to follow. Oil is down today. Every oil company is down today. When gold's up 10%, every gold company is up. When Hershey's is down 20%, every other confectioner of their size is going to be down. That's the correlation, right? They're individual companies, but overall, the substance, the foundation of them, they're going to move together. So George highlighted the 56. We do that because when we do correlation analysis, we really do want the company sizes to be somewhat close together. So Tootsie Roll versus Mondelez, probably not the best comparison because they're completely different companies. So I did the same thing. I looked at all the correlations. I looked at these 4 correlations. I would definitely encourage you when you're doing any kind of correlation analysis like this, you want to see data. You want to see a couple of different charts. And that's why if we move over to the next one, I did the same thing where we're still looking at all the correlations, but in looking at the correlations, I kicked Tootsie Roll and Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory to the curb because I just didn't respect their correlations like I did with MDLZ. The other reason why I kicked those to the curb is these two, at least to me, going back and, you know, again, I went back, I want to see data. I know these are old companies, so let's go look at some real data. Look at Hershey's compared to MDLZ going back to 03. 20 years. Very, very closely correlated, right? They are buddy-buddy. Buddy-buddy. COVID, COVID. Hershey's. Getting a little over its skis, wouldn't you say? Here we got a little bit over our skis as well. When it came down hard. So I like it. This is really interesting to me, George, and everybody. Not only did we look on 20 years, I looked on 20 years because I wanted the confidence that these two are buddy-buddy. They're brother and sister. They're hanging out. The most closely correlated company to Hershey's is MDLZ. The other two are not as closely correlated. So here, I just took the same chart, but then I just wanted to look, hey, let's look closer. Let's not look at 20 years. Let's look at a 1 year and let's see, what have these stocks done lately? Are they trying to retrace? Over the last year, what I like to see in the beginning, or what is this, 2 years or 3 years, here, it comes back. Hey, wait for me, buddy. Here, great, it comes back. But also, I think it's important to note, and this is going to be tied into the time frame for the trade. This to me right here is kind of what we're looking at, right? Just kind of acting differently, boom, they know one another. Even here, they're not coming back, but if you want to be long, you want to be long the weak one. If you want to be short, you want to be short the expensive one. The one other thing that I've pulled in, which I think is really important, what about cocoa? You think the price of Hershey's is going to be affected from the price of cocoa? Probably, right? Yeah. I thought this was pretty creative. I was thinking about different ways to look at Hershey's. And if you can tie it into a commodity, wow, that's cool. The other thing, which I thought was pretty badass, is the chart of cocoa. I think Hershey's knows it. I don't think that Hershey's chart is just completely independent from the price of cocoa. And so now the exercise is look at these times. Cocoa falls here, cocoa falls here, or here. So you want to go back, because what I don't want you to do is say, oh, Hershey's, I know what's correlated to it, cocoa. And then just because you think of it, you're right. Okay, that's not what we're doing here. What we are doing is we want to now see the times where it moved. So 2023, I'm really looking for the spikes and the outliers. Why don't we go here? July of 22 is here. This coincides with this. It's following cocoa. It's awesome. Maybe, George, maybe, I don't know, maybe. And George's comment says, for his other idea, Monster, maybe look at sugar. I don't know if Monster is as dependent on the price of sugar as Hershey's is on the price of coffee. I don't know. I don't know. They might be dependent on a lot of shitty chemicals or whatever they put in that stuff. This makes me really like the trade. Like, I liked it. We didn't see any big unusual options activity. That's something that would have got me a little bit more excited. I like this though. And hopefully you guys do some more work on it and look at cocoa compared to Hershey's. Cocoa rolled over. It's rolling over at the same time Hershey's is taking at its high. I like this trade. The only thing that I would change about the suggested trade is I'd want more time. And the reason that I'd want more time is because if we go back to this chart, and I'm looking at the time it takes to make, it could take some time. And so what I'm concerned about with just settling for the June expiration is that we might be right, but we might be wrong with our time. So in order to protect ourselves, I think time is our friend on this. I think we need more time. Yeah, then we just look at prices. Let's look at the options. This is how we want to dive into every freaking trade. Hey, Andre, if Hershey's price gap persists over a prolonged period of 1 year, why would they converge? MDLZ could be outperforming. Sure. The question is, maybe these two are just breaking apart. And maybe Hershey's is just outperforming MDLZ. And that absolutely could be true. But then somebody else is going to pick that up. One of the other correlated names is going to pick up that lost market cap, right? It's still a confectionery industry. It's an industry. It's not like Hershey's is that much different than anything else. So one of them might not hang in there, but there'll be other correlated companies. And Andre, this is how we trade. We look for correlated names, and instead of just flipping a coin on betting on something going higher or going lower, looking at this chart going back 20 years, this is the biggest difference over that time period. If those correlations hold true, this is really good risk reward. And that's all we can do, risk versus reward. So it certainly doesn't have to come back 100%, but I think it's a pretty good bet considering that this trade has been very successful over a long period of time. And the reason it's very successful is because they're in the same industry.